Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
Fuck your favorite, what's your most hated animal? Ticks. Fuck you ticks. 100% this. Fuck ticks. Every time. Disgusting little creatures. Worked in a lab that studied the bastards in college. Ask my supervisor why ecological purpose they serve and she goes, none really, they're a bunch of selfish little fuckers. Fuck bed bugs. They have no viable reason to exist, and absolutely nobody will miss them if they just suddenly vanished off of the face of existence. The goddamn worst. Had months of being paranoid by the slightest tickle on my ankle because of those fucks. Not to mention the amount of money for disinfestation that don't even guarantee a complete extermination, for every single product online that gives you hope and doesn't work, the sleepless nights and now the PTSD. I thought I hated cockroaches until I met these. Fuck them. Mosquito, yeah, those and black flies. Pretty much the only animals I actively will try to kill if I come across them. I think horse flies are even worse, compared to black flies, but that's my own opinion. Please don't fuck your favorite animal. What if it's my husband? Then get to fuckin'. Cockroaches. Flying cockroaches. You are if they fly they no longer cockroaches, it's demon loudly crying tears of joy. I have to do it. Koalas are fucking horrible animals. They have one of the smallest brain-to-body ratios of any mammal. Additionally, their brains are smooth. A brain is folded to increase the surface area for neurons. If you present a koala with leaves plucked from a branch, laid on a flat surface, the koala will not recognize it as food. They are too thick to adapt their feeding behavior to cope with change. In a room full of potential food, they can literally starve to death. This is not the token of an animal that is winning at life. Speaking of stupidity in food, one of the likely reasons for the primitive brains is the fact that additionally to being poisonous, eucalyptus leaves, the only thing they eat, have almost no nutritional value. They can't afford the extra energy to think, they sleep more than 80% of their fucking lives. When they are awake all they do is eat, shit and occasionally scream like fucking Satan. Because eucalyptus leaves hold such little nutritional value, koalas have to ferment the leaves in the guts for days on end. Unlike their brains, they have the largest hind gut-to-body ratio of any mammal. Many herbivorous mammals have adaptations to cope with harsh plant life taking its toll on their teeth. Rodents for instance have teeth that never stop growing. Some animals only have teeth on their lower jaw, grinding plant matter on bony plates in the tops of their mouths. Others have enlarged molars that distribute the wear and break down plant matter more efficiently. Koalas are no exception. When their teeth erode down to nothing, they resolve the situation by starving to death, because they're fucking terrible animals. Being mammals, koalas raise their joeys on milk, admittedly, one of the lowest milk yields to body ratio. There's a trend here. When the young joey needs to transition from rich, nourishing substances like milk, to eucalyptus, a plant that seems to be making it abundantly clear that it doesn't want to be eaten, it finds it does not have the necessary gut flora to digest the leaves. To remedy this, the young joey begins nuzzling its mother's anus until she leaks a little diarrhea, actually fecal pap, slightly less digested, which he then proceeds to slurp on. This partially digested plant matter gives him just what he needs to start developing his digestive system. Of course, he may not even have needed to bother nuzzling his mother. She may have been suffering from incontinence. Why? Because koalas are riddled with chlamydia. In some areas the infection rate is 80% or higher. This statistic isn't helped by the fact that one of the few other activities koalas will spend their precious energy on is rape. Despite being seasonal breeders, males seem to either not know or care, and will simply overpower a female regardless of whether she is ovulating. If she fights back, he may drag them both out of the tree, which brings us full circle back to the brain. Koalas have a higher than average quantity of cerebrospinal fluid in their brains. This is to protect their brains from injury, should they fall from a tree. An animal so thick it has its own little built-in special ed helmet. I fucking hate them. TLDR, koalas are stupid, leaky, STI-riddled sex offenders. But, hey, they look cute, if you ignore the terrifying snake eyes and terrifying feet. Quote, thank you. I was looking for this. Like so many comments about bugs, sure, especially wasps, and then like mosquitoes and parasites, yes we all hate those. And then there's fucking koalas. To add to this, not only do koalas solely subsist on a diet of poisonous leaves with barely any nutritional value, they are only able to absorb 25% of the nutrients from those leaves. To make up for this, they eat up to 1 kilogram of leaves every day. Which is crazy considering that they sleep for up to 20 hours a day, spending the time they are awake in a stoned-out stupor doing nothing but munch on leaves they can barely process, which are also toxic for most mammals, and screaming into the sky when the males are ready to forcibly breed with the females at any time of year even though they are seasonally reproductive. Why do they need to scream their bellowing hog belching that sounds like a dying truck with no muffler? Because they are extremely territorial antisocial creatures that only tolerate each other when breeding. Koalas also don't really drink water, like at all. These dumb creatures get their water from the leaves they eat and as such are particularly at risk of dehydration during times of drought. While living in a place known for regular droughts and bushfires. Speaking of bushfires, they make their homes in one of the most flammable trees there are, as eucalyptus trees have evolved spread by bursting into flames. Literally, eucalyptus seeds are contained within capsules that for most species the opening of which is triggered by fire. And koalas, being slow and stupid, don't always leave these trees while the trees are burning. So how do koalas even survive the harsh environments of Australia despite all of these ridiculous adaptations? They have very few natural predators in the land where everything is trying to kill each other. Think about that. These deceptively fuzzy-looking balls of what is actually coarse fur and sharp claws that live in poisonous flammable trees and sleep for 80% of their chlamydia-ridden lives are so unappetizing that in a land that has plants covered in hypodermic needles to inject you with liquid pain and the most venomous animals in the world, that they are more at risk of dying from their own stupidity than from anything eating them. They evolved to have their ridiculously thick skulls, smooth brains, and sharp claws to protect from themselves rather than any of the aggressive predators around them. TLDR, fuck koalas, they are iconic freaks of nature. Survival of the fittest. Survival by stupidity. Holy hell. You two painted a picture of some seriously fucked up creatures. Koalas are terrible, it's true. But I would like to counter with the ocean sunfish. Disclaimer, first care about marine life more than I care about anything else, for real. Except this big dumb idiot. And it's not like an ironic thing, I mean it is hilarious to me and they are the biggest joke played on earth, but I seriously fucking hate them. The mola fish, or ocean sunfish, they are the world's largest bony fish, weighing up to 5,000 pounds. And since they have very little girth, that just makes them these absolutely giant fucking dinner plates that God must have accidentally dropped while washing dishes one day and shrugged his shoulders at because no one could have imagined this would happen. And with no purpose. Every pound of that is a wasted pound and every foot of it, 10 foot by 14 ft, is wasted space. They are so completely useless that scientists even debate about how they move. They have little control other than some minor wiggling. Some say they must just push water out of their mouths for direction. They could use their back fin, except guess what, it doesn't fucking grow. It just continually folds in on itself, so the freaking cells are being made. This piece of floating garbage just doesn't put them where they need to fucking go. So they don't have swim bladders. You know, the one thing that every fish has to make sure it doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean when they stop moving and can stay the right side up. This creature, that can barely move to begin with, can never stop its continuous tour of idiocy across the ocean or it'll fucking sink. Except, when they get stuck on top of the water, which happens frequently. Because without the whole swim bladder thing, if the ocean pushes over the thinnest but largest most topple-able fish on the planet, shit out of luck. There is no creature on this earth that needs a swim bladder more than this spit in the face of nature, and yet. Some scientists have speculated that when they do that, they are absorbing energy from the sun because no one fucking knows how they managed to get any real energy to begin with. So they need the sun, I guess. But good news, when they end up stuck like that, it gives birds a chance to land on the goddamn island of a body and eat the bugs and parasites out of its skin because it's basically a slowly migrating cesspool. Pros and cons. If they are so huge, they must at least be decent predators. No, the most dangerous thing about them is, as you may have guessed, their stupidity. They have caused the death of one person before, because it jumped onto a boat. On a human, and in 2005 it decided to relive its mighty glory days and do it again, this time landing on a 4-year-old boy. Luckily Byron sustained no injuries. Way to go, fish. Great job. They mostly only eat jellyfish because of course they do, they could only eat something that has no brain and a possibility of drifting into their mouths, I guess. Everything they do eat has almost zero nutritional value, and because it's so stupidly fucking big, it has to eat a ton of the almost no nutritional value stuff to stay alive. Dumb. See that ridiculous open mouth? This is actually why this is my favorite picture of one, and I have had it saved to my phone for 3 years. Oh no. What could have happened? How could this be? Do not let that expression fool you, they just don't have the goddamn ability to close their mouths because their teeth are fused together, and ya know what, it is good it floats around with such a clueless expression on its face, because it is in fact clueless as all fuck. They do sometimes get eaten though. But hardly. No animal truly uses them as a food source, but instead, which has led us to said photo, will usually just maim the fuck out of them for kicks. Seals have been seen playing with their fins like frisbees, probably the most useful thing to ever come from them. Wow, you raise some good points here. This fish truly is proof that God has abandoned us. Yes, thank you, but if they're so bad at literally everything, why haven't they gone extinct? Great question. Because this thing is so worthless it doesn't realize it should not exist. It is so unaware of literally fucking everything that it doesn't realize that it's doing maybe the worst fucking job of being a fish, ORDEBATABLY, the worst job of being a cluster of cells than any other cluster of cells. So what does it do? It lays the most eggs out of everything. Besides some bugs, there are some ants and stuff that'll lay more. It will lay 300 million eggs at one time. 300 million. It survives because it would be statistically improbable, dare I say impossible, that there WOULDNT be at least one of those 300 million, that is each time they lay eggs, left surviving at the end of the day. And this concludes why I hate the fuck out of this complete failure of evolution, the ocean sunfish. If I ever see one, I will throw rocks at it. I would also add that their skin, yes, skin, they don't have scales, is so thick and rough it can actually scrape the side of a boat and is also infused with toxins. That's why no predators are interested in them. Only occasionally some shark bites into them but immediately leaves it alone, because yuck. I love the vitriol for this fish, the hater energy is so strong.